Oh, I wasn't going to wear my big clunky home jumper. Hello lovelies! I just thought I would chat to you a bit about my experience being classified as a high-risk human. So I was diagnosed with a brain tumour in 2014. My whole health journey has been a really positive experience. Hard, very, very hard, would not recommend. So a week ago, as I film this, I received a text from the NHS to tell me that I was considered at a high risk of contracting severe illness from the virus that is currently going around. That was a really difficult message to process to begin with. And then my parents then received a letter a few days later with words sort of to the same effect. And as a result of that, I've had to self-isolate with no outings whatsoever, not even for exercise or essential shopping, because there is too much of a risk that I will get severely ill. I don't know why, I didn't think I would be one of the people who had to take such drastic measures. I think I knew on some level that I would because, you know, I've had a form of cancer, which is one of the things on the list. I am currently isolating myself in my flat, all by myself. And yeah, to begin with, for the first few days it was really hard, but I think I'm coming out the other side now. I'm sort of adjusting to this life, you know, as it will be for the next few weeks. So going back to the text, the NHS told me that I am at a high risk of contracting severe illness. They told me to stay isolated by myself for 12 weeks. They have since been texting me every day with kind of, not updates as such, but more like recommendations for things I could do to fill my time and things for my health, like making sure I drink a lot of water and, I don't know, eating a lot of food. But also kind of moving around and staying active. And obviously that's very hard because I am actually on a top floor flat and I don't have any outdoor space, so I don't have a garden or anything. The text from the NHS told me I am allowed to open a window but not to go outside. And I will always do whatever the NHS tells me to do, to be honest, because they've taken such good care of me for the last few years, and I am very aware of how lucky we are as a nation to have them, so I'm never going to question what they say. I've got to the point now in my life where I'm living with what remains of my tumour. So I am technically living with cancer. I guess I am very, very lucky in that the NHS, you know, still is looking out for me and taking very good care of me. I was one of 1.5 million people who received that message, and it's been amazing the amount of support I've had, again, from friends, family, the charity, and on social media. People I don't even know. I've already had 3 of my local friends, no, 4 of my local friends have gone out and bought me things from the supermarket. Yeah, it's been really positive, you know, and people keep sharing all these links with me, sort of advising me on what to do while I'm by myself and how to get like provisions sent to me. I'm still waiting on a food package from the government, but hopefully that will work out soon. I'm very aware that I'm very lucky and it's not as bad as it could have been, but I am slightly worried that because I have to do this for 12 weeks and be by myself in this little space, I'm really hoping that this passes soon. I'm hoping that I won't have to do it for any longer than 12 weeks, and I'm really hoping that I don't get lonely. Because myself as a person, I'm very, very open. I'm a hugger. I love company and I love physical contact, and yeah, I can cope with video chats for the time being and, you know, sort of messages online, and kind of, I've got a TV, I've got books, I've got so many books, and I actually have like some of my own projects to work on, so, and I can do virtual yoga classes, and every morning on Instagram I'm doing a live stream of me having a little boogie to some of my favourite like party songs and people are joining in, and that's lovely. So I am still being social, but I'm hoping that it doesn't become harder. So my tips for anyone like me who is having to isolate by themselves in this time is, first of all, limit the amount of news that you watch. I know this sounds really, it doesn't sound very proactive. I feel like I can't watch too much because I just get upset and I get worked up, and if I can avoid that then I will. So I'm not watching as much news about COVID-19. I'm not staying ignorant by any means, but I'm not watching more than what gives me the basic information, you know? You can also feel a bit hopeless, I think, the more bad news you see. I'm also having at least 2 video chats with friends per day. I'm keeping in touch with the parents who live a little way away, and they're all isolating themselves as well because my mum has asthma. Another overwhelming piece of advice would be, and this is like my biggest piece of advice, is if you can, please stay home. Like, I can't help but worry about the NHS at this time. It must be so overwhelmed, and I also am really, really hoping that myself and the other 1.5 million people who are having to go to these drastic measures and isolate themselves and go without any human company in real life for the next 12 weeks, I don't want that all to be a waste. Stick to the rules and stay indoors. And if you must go outside, make sure it's only for exercise and essential shopping. I think the guide at the moment is 1 hour per day. That may come down as time goes on, but we don't know. But for now, just stick to it. And also, if you go out with someone else, or if you see someone else when you're out and about, stay at least 2 meters away from them. That is the rule. I cannot stress that enough. It's so important. Another piece of advice I would give is to take joy in a lot of normal things. Like, for instance, at the moment, I am loving cooking for myself, and I'm getting as much food in as I can, like I said, from my friends who are going to the supermarkets, and I'm just whipping up all kinds of different things that I've wanted to try for so long and not got round to because I've been too busy. Making myself little kind of herbal blends of tea. I'm also reading more and more than I have recently, and it reminds me of when I was quite young. I used to be able to just sit with a book for hours and I loved it. But now I just can't, because I think my attention span has really diminished in this age of social media and TV. And also, one of my friends pointed this out on social media, and I thought it was so important. Yes, this is a great time to work on your own projects, maybe write something or get the paints out and try and be a bit creative. But also, it doesn't matter if you do nothing. You don't have to. If all you do one day is just sit on your sofa and watch a whole Netflix series, that is absolutely fine, because that's what you need, and that's what is going to make you happy in that moment, in that day. Also, piece of advice, follow the Brain Tumour Charity. On Twitter, they are braintumour.org. On Instagram, they are the Brain Tumour Charity. Find their Facebook page as well. Myself, if anyone wants to talk to me about anything, my Instagram and Twitter are both at _Grace Latter. Or one word. I do have a blog as well, almostamazinggrace.co.uk. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay home when you can. Bye.